Welcome to the Ad Venture Podcast by BidX. I'm your host, Joie Roberts. I am so excited to be sitting with Max Hofmann today, the co-founder of BidX, who has been revolutionizing the Amazon ad space for a lot of years now. All the way from Germany, we are sitting live in the Austin, Texas podcast studio. Max, welcome.
This is exciting. Thank you for having me.
Yes, isn't it awesome? Came all the way from Germany just to sit in Austin, Texas, right here.
So true, so true. And it's absolutely worth it. So it's my first time in a studio, I can tell. And I need to say it's like a completely different experience doing it in such a professional studio. It is just a different vibe that you do have over here.
Yeah, it is a great vibe. Kind of reminds me of BidX. I felt the same way when I learned about BidX. I was like, you guys are crushing it in Germany and you came over to the US. I'm like, this is so cool. Let's dig into your story and how did you even get started with this whole world of Amazon?
Yeah, so our story started already kind of 10 years ago. So that's almost like a decade. I started selling on Amazon 9 years ago. That was back in 2015. And that is like a long time. For that industry, it's like a long time ago. And when you look back now, sellers who started that time, they do now 8 figures, 9 figures. They were like super, super lucky to start that early and are like really, really successful nowadays. So it was a very good time to start. And it was that I still was studying at university. I studied industrial engineering with a focus on robotics and automation. And to finance my life as a student, I worked for T-Mobile, mother organization, which is Telekom in Germany. And over there, I had a colleague who's Andreas Schreiter, Andy. And like during our coffee breaks, he mentioned about selling on Amazon. He found this American Udemy course, and now he launched like his first products, and he showed me some of the crazy sales, and they did like a couple of thousands already like in the first month. And it was like, wow, so we are working here for a few dollars every single hour and you are doing already like thousands of dollars. So at that time it was insane to see like how quickly something can take off. And for me, it was always like, I always tried to find a way to make some money as a side hustle. Already while going to school, I started to sell computers that I built myself. I traded phones, and I always tried to find a way to gain some money on the side.
Yeah, I could relate to that. I was always trying to hustle too in college. I wish I had found Amazon back then. So then what? Okay, so he was selling and you're like, you're doing it, I can do it.
Yeah, so it was summer. He was selling ice cubes, so like silicone ice cube forms, and it was like an icy ball thing, and that didn't exist in Germany. But it was already like kind of popular in the trend in the States, and so it also took off then in Germany because like influencers posted it on Instagram and so on, and they were like the only ones selling it. But soon you realize then there are like copycats. As soon as you start to get some traction, then others are coming to the platform as well, and then like you need to adapt, you need like to innovate, you need to find ways to make it different. And we had all these chats, and then he taught me a lot about how to do it actually. And then after probably like 20, 30 coffee breaks, I was ready to order my first product myself. It was like a silicone gear tie, which was like a bestseller in America. And we launched on Amazon in Germany, and we didn't sell anything. So.
Oh no. Wait, what is it? A silicone gear tie?
Yeah, it's like to tie your cables, to organize your cables and do all the different stuff.
Oh,
so you can put it into one shape and then it stays in that shape. And if you want to adjust it, then you can just adjust it afterwards, and you can reuse it and reuse it and reuse it. And still today, it's like one of my favorite products, if not the favorite product that we launched in our whole time selling on Amazon.
So did it ever end up getting sales?
Yeah, because of ads. So the thing was, and the learning was, it was like an amazing product, but nobody in Germany knew that it existed. So there was like no demand. And so if nobody was looking for your product, if you did not appear in any searches because people were not aware that it existed, you needed to find a way to create that awareness. And the product was good, but nobody was looking for it. So we started running ads and put like our ads next to the regular gear ties that like the regular ties where you just have like one-time use whatsoever, or like similar things where it could cross-sell relate to. And that suddenly put our product in a space where it was not existing before. And then it started to sell. It did not do crazy volumes, but it taught us a lesson that if you want to sell something, you need to make sure that there is a market for it. And if there is no market, you need to find a way to create that.
Yeah, it sounds simple, but it is so important. And a lot of people forget that when they get super excited about their product. And you can have the best product in the world, but if you're not advertising it, getting it in front of the right people, then you're not really changing the landscape at all and making a great product. You're losing money. I actually had a similar experience with my first product I ever launched, but I didn't stick it out. I gave up and launched a different product, but I did not get it in front of the right audience, and I did not educate people on it. And that's what you can do really more accessible today with advertising. And thanks to BidX, I do run my ads through BidX, and you can do some really cool, beautiful things on the BidX platform. So tell me a bit about how you got into creating the software for BidX. And you just mentioned a little bit of a hint there because you said you needed to use advertising to get your first product seen.
Yeah. So soon after, I think like 4 to 8 weeks after we saw like not that much success with our first product, we found a second product. And it was at that time when my brother got his first child, and he was looking for stuff to make the house baby safe. And so the products that were out there were like ugly, not really working very reliably, or especially if you wanted to have like a cabinet lock, for instance, you always had like this big plastic ugly thing that you glued from the outside. And so again, in America, there was like one popular magnetic lock that you would be able to install from the inside. So it was invisible from the outside, and you were also able to glue it. And so we launched that as our second product and imported it. And that went through the roof. So with that, we had like parents who were actually looking for cabinet locks and stuff like that. And again, like with the help of advertising, we were able to launch the product and then also to keep it as a bestseller on top. And that sold crazy volumes because again, we have been like the first ones who were selling it in Germany. And at that time, you just need to make like a great listing, run some ads, and you would become bestseller. And it was also much easier to get reviews and everything. So that really took off. But soon we realized that to make sure that we continuously launch new products and to make sure that they stay on top, we really need to invest a lot of time into optimizing and managing all the advertising campaigns. And it was so frustrating, like spending hours every single week in doing so, in like increasing bits, decreasing bits, download bulk files, upload bulk files, errors, whatsoever. It was so annoying. And it was at that time when I met my future wife, Nadine, who studied computer science. And she said, well, everything that you do manually, I can probably just write a script for you that would do it automatically.
Of course you fell in love.
Yeah, probably. So it was also like then in 2017 that only then Amazon released the APIs to enable third-party software applications to actually like create new campaigns, adjust bits and everything. So we didn't find a solution back then because there was none, because there was no infrastructure from Amazon to make that possible. Yeah. And so we, and then like another American company back in 2017, have been like the very first company globally who are leveraging the APIs to then also like push the changes back to Amazon. At first, it was just for ourselves. We just had the problem that we wanted to solve, and we solved for ourselves. But then like friends kept asking us, like, how do you manage ads and so on, and we told them, we built like an in-house solution. You can try it. You can make use of it and see if it works. And it worked. And then we realized that actually there's like a lot of demand for that, and more sellers than ever were like looking for a solution to solve like all the advertising hustle that they have had. And then we realized, okay, let's spin it off. Let's create like a second company. And then in 2018, we officially launched the BidX company. And now we have like 45 team members, most of the team in Europe, but also like the first team members over here in the States. And we are growing and are happy with the development.
I mean, what an incredible story. And that is how you go seek out to help yourself, right? And then everyone's like, wait, help me. But you have to be on the cutting edge because you were doing it for yourself then. 2018, things have changed. And now bring it forward to today. You guys are still a huge leader in Amazon ads. And what is going on with AI? Because I know you guys are doing some crazy, awesome AI things. I think you are one of the best and you're ahead of everybody, but I want to hear it from you. Like, tell me about how you have stayed on top of it and adapted and still been one of the leaders with AI.
Yeah, so already back in 2017, we integrated like AI into our algorithms. But at that time, it was not that hip. It was like machine learning algorithm that was like really tech savvy and so on. So the technology was already built in from the start. But with ChatGPT like 2 years ago, it really became mainstream popular. And you realize that suddenly you could do so much more than not just like crunching data. And the results that you are getting out of it are phenomenal. So how we leverage AI nowadays, it's on the one side, it's internally. We have so many processes that nowadays can be automated and that are supported with AI tools that we use ourselves. But also we build so many things directly into BidX to provide like much better results for our customers. So first one is into our algorithm where like it got adapted over and over again to implement like the latest technologies that we see. Then when you look at keyword research and like does the keyword that I actually advertise match to my listing, AI is now able to much easier understand what is the product actually selling, what is like the USP, what does it do, what does it not do, compare it to the list and give you like quality feedback of the keywords that you are actually advertising. It also can easily look at competitor listings to see like where are you missing out at the moment, where are like important keywords that for instance are not in your listing at the moment, but the best sellers in that category do have these keywords in the listing. So you should make sure to include it back into your listing and you should make sure to also run ads for that. And then with like all the structure that the system is going to recommend, like what match types should you use, what ad types should you use. AI is heavily impacted with that. And also like just again, data analytics, what is like the search volume, what is like estimated CPCs and all that stuff. The newer algorithms are like so much faster than the old ones. So initially, sometimes we were struggling in crunching just the whole amount of data, which nowadays it got like improved and it's like 100 times or 1,000 times better and faster and much more accessible. Yeah.
Super cool. And we just unpacked a lot in that. But knowing that you guys have been the leader and you've been doing basically the AI since 2017, became popular with ChatGPT. What is it that you think sets BidX apart from other companies that do, Amazon advertising as well? And you can touch on PPC as well as like DSP.
Yeah, I think with that already you started. So what BidX is offering you is like a full funnel advertising solution that covers everything, and it includes Amazon Marketing Cloud to really understand what is the path to conversion that advertisers can see their customers taking. And we're a European company. So with that, we are like the only European full funnel company that is running Amazon advertising on that level. So as soon as you want to have an international presence, you need to have like a good international understanding. And most of our US friends, I'd say, are focused on the American market and they are doing a good job over here. But as soon as it comes to the different languages, different currencies, different time zones, there's like so much going on, which we needed to cover first because like we were not US native and we needed to make sure that that works. So having a solution that also required so much of our own knowledge and of our own experience and of our own requirements where we would like to be the best and to find like and to create the best solution for ourselves and also to build that into the solution. So it was like not, we see there's like a market, it's like a growing market, maybe we can build like a software company and leverage like some money out of it. But it was like real problems that we faced every single hour of the day throughout like building brands on Amazon. And it was like a real deep personal need to build something great and that goes really, really deep. And I think that is what we did. We've focused like for years now just on Amazon, where many others already started to go to other marketplaces that are not that advanced as Amazon, and then they don't really focus on Amazon anymore. So what we said, okay, let's go on Amazon full power, and let's go so deep that we are like super happy and we don't know what to build anything for else. And then let's go to the second marketplace, which was like Walmart earlier this year, where we said, okay, now we have everything that we need for Amazon, and now we can go ahead. And this level of focus for so many years is just like the advancement of the software. I mean, you can get from point A to B by walking. You can take a bike. You can go by car, or you can take a plane, or you can take like a supersonic plane. And we wanted to build that supersonic plane to build like the most advanced solution that Amazon brands can have.
To get to that path to conversion.
Yeah.
And that simplifies it, but there's so much complicated stuff. But yeah, you nailed it. It's Amazon sellers. All of us are just looking for that path to conversion, and you're finding ways to make it better.
Yeah, and especially after 2021, 2022, which were like zero interest, a lot of aggregators they pumped so much money into the market, and everything was great. Like local retailers were closed, so people needed to buy online, and it was like a hype. So everything was like working perfectly fine. Then like 2023 hit, 2024, and suddenly all the cost rose, inflation grew, and people realized, okay, somehow we need to make money. If like competition is increasing, if like advertising spend is increasing, if storage fees are increasing, we need to keep up with our margins, and we need to find ways to make that work. And that is then where like a software like BidX comes in, because we have so many different ways to increase the margins. For instance, when we optimize bids, we take into considering your paid position, your organic position. We take into consideration how much of your stock level inventory do you have left. Like if you're running out of stock in like the upcoming 12 days, then probably it makes sense to reduce the bids or like to pause ads, because you will sell anyways and you can keep some of the, and nowadays it's like 10 to 20% of TAR cost, total A cost, that people are spending of the total revenue on ads. And that is like healthy, kind of. That is like a healthy amount to stay competitive, especially over here in the States. And so it's like a lot of money. Like Amazon is going to make plus $50 billion this year just from advertising revenues. And you really have a really big leverage with Amazon advertising to keep your margins healthy, or like to make losses with your whole business.
Yeah. And to your point on that, Amazon ads can tank your business, and you have to have those guardrails. And it sounds simple when you think of it from, I don't want to say like a beginner standpoint, but like where you're not spending a ton of money on advertising and you don't have a lot of ASINs. But when you are running a lot of campaigns, you have more and more products you're launching, and you're trying to manage and watch these bids, but Amazon wants your money, like you're saying. They want your money, so you have to have the guardrails. And that was one of the big reasons that I was drawn to BidX for my products.
Yeah, like when Amazon hosts conferences like Amazon Unboxed, we receive the feedback oftentimes from attendees that everything that they've heard is Amazon trying to find new ways to get like more advertising dollars out of your pocket. And so it's obvious that they want to grow the business, but it's like challenging for sellers to identify which dollar is actually worth to spend and which dollar is maybe better invested in other areas. And also if it's invested into profits and you keep some of it yourself, you can then use that money to further innovate your product line, to launch new products, and to have like money if something goes wrong whatsoever. So Amazon really needs to focus on the balance of how much advertising dollars are they trying to get from the brands, and how much is it like then hurting the business. So, and they are not able to go over a certain point, because then it becomes suddenly like unprofitable and the business will like slow down in growth or like even decrease, because it will hurt the brands. And so to find that balance where like everybody's happy, Amazon is doing it, like making billions in profits from advertising, but also like the selling partners are making billions in running their stores on Amazon and having a good time as well.
Yeah, and you're in the middle of that struggle.
We are, like we try to, but we need to say our customers are the brands. So we act in everything that we do, we act in favor of the brands. So of course we have like a very deep relationship with Amazon. We have so many great partners that we can talk to at Amazon who are supporting us business-wise, technology-wise. So this is like a super valuable partnership that we do have. However, the customer is going to pay us, and our goal is like to help the customer grow. And nowadays it means to help the customer keep the margins, increase the margins. And how can they increase the total profits that they have at the end of the day?
Yes, profits is what we're all after. And you mentioned Amazon Unboxed, and you are in Austin, Texas, and we were at Unboxed last week. I noticed a lot at Unboxed was DSP.
Yeah.
Right? It was everywhere. So let's touch on that. I know BidX has the pleasure of working with some big sellers who DSP makes so much sense for them. So let's touch on DSP and when a seller might be ready and how it can really take brands to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. So Amazon DSP is the demand side platform, and it allows advertisers to run ads on as well as off Amazon. And those are like focused on display as well as video ads. And it also opens up the Amazon first party audience, so customer data, to brands who are not selling on Amazon, like a car manufacturer or like a financial institution. So Amazon DSP is huge, and it's like a DSP where like also other DSPs are out there from other providers, but Amazon doubled down on its development of its own DSP. And we use it mostly for brands who actually sell on Amazon. And all the sponsored products, brands, display ads that you can run natively on Amazon yourself are great for a start. But as soon as you cross a certain amount of ad spend per month, then you should think about, where do I invest additional dollars to keep my return of ad spend that I do receive at the moment, where there's like less competition, where there are like additional tools, additional placements, which I cannot access with the other placements. And so then Amazon DSP is coming into very, very handy to drive that additional traffic to your product detail pages and to increase your brand awareness and to increase the incrementality of additional sales that you are generating.
And where do people see the DSP? Like, do I see it when I'm like watching Prime TV, or where?
So it's everywhere, kind of. So Amazon has very exclusive banners on Amazon's website where it was just DSP. Nowadays also oftentimes sponsored display ads are being displayed over there. So you can't really tell, is it like an Amazon DSP ad or is it like a sponsored display ad. Sponsored display has turned into like a mini DSP kind of. But as soon as you leave Amazon and you're reading an article on Bloomberg and you see like a Amazon product, then this is probably an Amazon DSP ad that is tracking you across the internet and is currently running as a remarketing ad because like you viewed that product on Amazon, but you didn't purchase. And these are like the bottom of the funnel sales strategies that you can use with Amazon DSP, but they are like the most efficient and they drive directly incremental value, because most of the time then people would not have bought the product if they didn't see it again, but they already like engaged it with it in the past. So they just need like one additional or second additional touch point. Maybe they watched it like during Prime Video or like streaming Twitch whatsoever. And then like one additional touch point might be sufficient to actually make that customer convert.
I love it. So it follows you around because you viewed the product and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to buy this so it stops following me.
Yeah, absolutely. Best strategy.
Yes.
Makes everybody happy.
I'm ready for DSP. Let's go. That is the best. I absolutely love it. Okay, so if somebody is not at the level for DSP, and there's always that complaint that I hear from Amazon sellers that they don't want to spend a lot of money on advertising. They don't feel like they can afford an agency yet. They don't feel like their budget's big enough. What solution does BidX have for that?
Yeah, so Amazon DSP was very exclusive in the past, and to access it, you really needed to commit to a really high spend, and this is still until today. So in the States, it's 7 figures that you need to spend annually on the Amazon DSP if you want to have your own seat. So most of the times, brands go with an independent agency partner, software technology partner to access Amazon DSP. audiences and like all the inventory that is accessible with that. And we have started working on Amazon DSP 5 years ago, back in 2019 actually. Like we started the first Amazon DSP campaigns for our customers, and that is like years ago, kind of.
Yeah.
In that industry, it's like a very long time ago. But over that time, again, in the beginning, there were like no APIs, so you were not able to read any data. Then they released those to provide you with some reportings directly, like real-time reporting for your customers. And then earlier this year only, they enabled like write APIs. So everything that we built for Amazon PPC, we were now also able to build for Amazon DSP. And what we did is like we developed a DSP automation that makes it possible for everybody to access Amazon DSP and to launch, for instance, these remarketing campaigns that follow customers across the internet if they didn't purchase your product for at least like 3 days after they viewed the product and didn't purchase, or didn't purchase like a competitor product, for instance. And this makes it like super, super accessible for something that was like highly exclusive in the past.
Yeah, and now through BidX, anybody can do it because compiled together, you're hitting the benchmark for them so you can work within the budget of the brand.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Okay, well, I have not unlocked DSP yet for my brand. I launched this new brand in January, so maybe I should look into that now that I know how accessible it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. And what about beginner? So I've heard rumor and a new launch of BidX Essentials.
Yeah, we are working hard on making our products as accessible as possible. And when we started with BidX, it was free. Then we offered it for like $29 a month. And over the time, like the scope of the software became like so much more advanced, and also our pricing increased. So nowadays, BidX starts at $500 a month and plus a percentage of ad spend. And that's like a lot. And most of the brands that are starting out, as we did like a couple of years ago, are not able to afford a solution like that. But they are also needing a solution like that, especially as soon as you launch like the third or fourth product, then suddenly you realize, okay, I do now have like 500 keywords and I cannot track that anymore manually. And so what we worked on is a product that is called BidX Essential that actually reduces all of the capabilities that we do have back to its core, back to the automation of bids. And that is like the most important, and that is like mostly that what is making the changes and making the difference. So BidX Essential is a solution for everybody that wants to manage $10,000, up to $10,000 with Amazon, with BidX, and automate all of the bid changes that are needed through our powerful algorithms. And so it's like the limiting but core functionality that we are making accessible for much more affordable pricing at just like $99 a month.
That is awesome. And then you can learn about campaigns, run it yourself, and then when you're ready, you can step up. And there's even account managers at BidX that will dig in and dive into everything going on with your brand. And it's just nice to have a set of eyes that is not attached to your wallet or your bank account, that really does care and wants to help.
Yeah, absolutely. So even though you are like driving a super fast car, or you're flying a super fast jet, you always need like somebody in the driver's seat, somebody in the pilot seat, to tell like in which direction do we actually want to go, in which direction should we go. So this is like where we support brand owners to navigate them through the capabilities that nowadays exist, because there are so many different possibilities that you can use nowadays, where people who are starting out are super confused in what should I do, what is like the best practice here, what's the best practice over there. And that's where we come in and educate, support, consult, and do everything to support them. Yeah.
That is very cool that you've included all levels, because beginners sometimes feel left out. So I love that. Now let's talk about where you think the future is going. We're going to wrap up shortly, but I've been dying to ask you this question because you've been doing this for so long, and there's so much that has been changing even faster that when we used to say, oh, everything changes quickly, and now it changes so fast. So what are you excited about for Amazon ads for the future?
So AI is a big game changer also for Amazon advertising. What we see nowadays is that Amazon focus a lot on audiences. So they will go away from manual campaigns, from keyword targeting over time, and say much rather, okay, this audience is interested in buying your products. This audience is potentially interested, and this audience is not aware that your product exists. And what Amazon launched last week at Amazon Unboxed was the capability to make use of Amazon Marketing Cloud custom audiences to also run sponsored product ads with these audiences. And I think we will see a big shift into the focus on audience-based advertising on Amazon, so that all the different ad products that they do have will receive that possibility, and also that you are not going to set like individually bids, budget, and so on, but you would much rather state targets and goals that you'd like to achieve, and then the system is trying to get close to that, but nobody wants to share the costs that you're having with your products with Amazon directly and what profit you are making. So there needs to be this independent party in between, who makes sure that this party I can trust, and then they are going to manage everything on my behalf with Amazon. And that's us.
Yeah, that's BidX, and that's the future and where you're going. Super cool. Well, it has been an absolute honor to sit down with you, and thank you for all you've done for the Amazon advertising community, and of course building this awesome company, which is super fun to work at, by the way. We all love BidX, and I hope you come sit back in Austin, Texas in the studio with me again.
I would love that. It was great. Thank you for having me.